I'm definitely excited to be here and grateful to be amongst so many beautiful people in the city of Warrensville. I met with Steve a time and he was excited about getting me out here to speak with you all. I'm actually a Shaw alum, and it would always be very, very intense. I played football and basketball. It would be very intense taking that drive on that bus up that hill, trying to prepare for Warrensville Heights High School Tigers. Let's hear it for the community of Warrensville. We also have the mayor and a lot of other dignitaries here as well. Let's hear it for them as well, one last time. And I actually kind of feel like a short-changed preacher up here, because as you all know, when a preacher gets a microphone, they go for an hour, maybe even 2 hours. Unfortunately, I only have 20, 30 minutes. So having said that, if it seems as if I'm rushing, that's because I am. And having said that, I'm actually going to jump right into this thing so I can get you all back to work, wherever it is you have to be, somewhere that's more exciting than hearing Dr. Moss speak. Having said that, like I said, I'm going to jump right into this with an activity, with an exercise. I'm going to need 4 volunteers. I'm going to need 2 boys and 2 girls. 4 volunteers. Come on, come on. 4. I got 1 girl. Come on. Make sure you finish chewing, because I'm going to have you sing or something like that. I got, no. Come on. I got 1 girl. Come on. We don't have a whole lot of time. I got a boy. I got a girl. Come on. I need 1 more boy. Come on. I need 1 more boy. Okay. So see, I'm not getting that extra boy because they feel too masculine. Well, give me a man then. We got a man. Give me a man. Well, can I get a man? We don't even have a man in the house. Come on, give me a round of applause. Give me a round of applause as he comes up. Give a round of applause. Thank you all so much for volunteering. You all are going to make a wonderful quartet singing up here. I appreciate it. You all are not going to sing. We're actually going to play a quick game, and it's simply called the Smiley Game. How many of you all have kids? How many of you all have seen a kid before? Okay. So it may seem fairly elementary, but we're going to have some fun with it. And the simple instructions is that we're going to split these 2 into 2s, and we're simply going to have them look at each other. And the first person to smile is going to be out. It's called the Smiley Game. We're going to have them look at each other dead in the eyes. Get the smiles out now. Get the smiles out now. We're going to have them look dead in the eyes, and the first person to smile is going to be out. Come on, Mike. Come in front of her. Hold on. We turn your back. Keep there. We haven't started yet. But we're about to start. So come on now, Mike. Get the smiles out. Hold on. Don't turn around yet. The winner receives a free copy of my book. Okay? All right. You ready, Mike? No. Okay. Then actually come this side. Come this side, because I want everyone to see you all. I'm gonna stand between. Don't do it yet, okay? I'm gonna move, and then as soon as I move, that's when the game starts, okay? All right. You smiling already, man? Come on, man. Serious face. You smiling already? Okay, you good. I'm about to look at her right quick, make sure she's good. Okay, she's meditating. She's ready. You're gonna lose already. All right, so I'm about to move. The first person who smiles, he's done already, man. Good Lord. The first person who smiles loses. I'm moving. Now, she's probably married. Why are you looking at her like that, man? I don't know if he's gonna win. Come on, somebody yell or crack a joke or something. Look at her. Okay, we got her. You smile. Give her a round of applause. Come over here with me, Mike. Mike, come over here with me. Okay, you too. You look familiar. Did you ever work at Shaw?
Yes.
Okay, that's why you look so familiar. Okay, cool. All right, same thing. No smile. Serious look. Serious look. Come on. Nothing's impossible. We're going to talk about that a little bit.
Okay.
Think and grow CEO style. We're going to talk about positive thinking very shortly. All right, I'm about to move. I don't know. Come on, y'all. Make some noise. Throw a carrot at them or something. Do something. Wow, they're pretty serious. We might stay here forever on this one. Come on, somebody make some funny faces at him or something. God, did he smile? Did he smile? Did he smile? He smirked a little bit. Come on. Wow. Come on, Tina. Come on, Tina. Come on, Derek. Come on, who's gonna crack first? Come on, somebody say something funny. Crack a joke, somebody. Coach got the game face on. So does Tina. Okay, I'm going to count to 20. I'm going to count to 20. Anybody can heckle them at any point. I'm going to count to 20, and then we're going to call it off at 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you all see somebody smile, let me know. 8, 9. This is funny. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Let's give them all a round of applause. The three of you. Come up, the three of you. Since we would not get a winner, since we do not have a winner, the three of them will get a copy. Let's give them one more round of applause as they take their seats. Thank you, Tina. Thank you so much. Thank you. So I've had tons of fun. I'm going to jump right into this because we got to go. I've had tons of fun the last year, 2 years, traveling the entire country with my Witness This National Career Development Campaign. How many of you have heard of LeBron James before? Okay. So some of us, how many of you are like LeBron James? Okay, we're probably about mixed. So on a count of 3, I'm going to let you all get it out right now. Whether you like or love LeBron James. If you like him, clap, yell. If you hate him, boo. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's hear it. Okay, thank you. So we actually still got a lot of love for LeBron James for whatever reason. Now, I know why go ahead, I didn't hear you. Okay, Brad Sellers. Okay, all right, okay, so we like Brad Sellers, let's hear it for the mayor. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So I've traveled the entire country. My target audience, my target population is high school, college students, empowering them, motivating, inspiring them, developing them to become the CEO of their dreams. Where did I get the CEO of your dreams concept from? The day of LeBron James making his decision to take his talents to South Beach. Went to about 4 or 5 stores that evening and I couldn't find a newspaper. So I asked the last clerk, I asked the last teller, why can I not find a newspaper on today? He said, have you ever heard of a guy by the name of LeBron James? I said, yeah. He says, he has the city of Cleveland by the palm of his hands. Upon entering downtown Cleveland, we would all see signs, posters, billboards that goes the span of this whole wall that said, we are all witnesses. And in the middle would be not Brad Sellers, the mayor, not Dr. Moss, but it would be LeBron James. It said, we are all witnesses. Consequently, I decided to do something different. I've always been a little boy who was a little bit different than everybody else. Everybody else burnt his shoes, burnt up his jerseys. Everybody else egged his house or houses down 77 South in Akron. I decided to launch my Witness This National Career Development Campaign. It's taken me to Florida, New Mexico, Arizona, all throughout the entire country, motivate and inspire students. The tagline is, Witness This. I'm the CEO of my dreams, and there's nothing you can do about it. I want you all to repeat after me as loud as you can with as much energy as you can. Repeat after me. Say, witness this. Witness this. I'm the CEO of my dreams. And there's nothing you can do about it. Give yourselves a round of applause. Give yourself a round of applause. Now, while I'm not here today to motivate most of you all, we have a few college students here. I'm not here to motivate and inspire you all from that perspective. I'm not here for that. My platform is personal and professional development, which we all can use, which we all often need reminders on certain things. So the topic today is think and grow CEO style. CEO stands for Creator of Excellent Opportunities. As a motivational speaker, my platform is self-empowerment. CEO, it carries the same traditional connotation and concepts of chief executive officer. But it means that you should be the creator of excellent opportunities. So we talk about think and grow, CEO style. Let's park for a second on the word think. And some of you all may be saying, well, you know, I'm still not convinced because I'm not a high school student, I'm not in college, I'm not a student. But we all need that positive reinforcement on a regular basis. How many of us go to church? Raise your hands. All of us go to church. Most of us go to church. Why do we go to church? Every Sunday, sometimes Wednesdays, sometimes Saturday for youth day, Tuesdays for the building fund collection day. We go to church. Why do we go to church so much? Some of us read our Bibles regularly. Some of us do. Some of us don't, but we go because one, we believe, and two, we need that regular, routine, positive reinforcement. You all may still not be buying it. Some of you all wake up in the morning, every morning, get dressed with your finest on, or what you think is your finest, and before you leave, you kiss your spouse as they're half asleep, and you say, baby, how do I look today? Knowing you only ask him that. Why? Because you need some type of positive reinforcement, just as if you were 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. That's one of the basic, one of the fundamental attributes about life, is that we all need positive reinforcement. I mean, let's think about it. You could have done an amazing job on a project or task for the city, for the Chamber of Commerce. But if no one pats you on your back and tells you did a good job, you'll be depressed. If everybody tells you, we can do an experiment on this. Sometimes with my young audience, I got a lot more time, I do quick exercises and experiments to show you all how powerful this thing called self-empowerment and motivation is. So you do this wonderful job on this project, and we could do an experiment, and you think it's wonderful, your whole family think it's wonderful, but you get to work, and everybody looking at you like you crazy because they say this is a piece of crap. Moral of the story is that we all need that positive reinforcement. Let's start with think. How do we think differently? How do we think? One of the greatest self-help gurus of all time, Dr. Wayne Dyer, love him to death. He changed my perspective. He changed my outlook on life. And as a result, I'm able to achieve excellence at higher levels than the average person. Wayne Dyer said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. The first time I told you all, I'm a social scientist, so I like to do experiments, right? So the first time I tried this experiment, it was very, very fun. So I would oftentimes go to weddings, and a person who would be twice, 3 times my age, we'd be in the receiving line about to receive them, the newlyweds, and person behind me, 2 times, 3 times my age, would poke me on the back and say, you next, you next. And I'm at a point where I'm not ready to be next yet. I'm not ready to be next. But they would poke me and say, you next. So I thought about Dr. Wayne Dyer, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So I would go to funerals with my all black on. We go past the casket. Someone would be in front of me twice, 2, 3 times my age. I would poke their shoulder. They'd look back, and I say, you next. You next. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. It's basketball season. Another example for you. A couple years ago, Doc Rivers coached the Boston Celtics. The press can create some mean or lovely headlines, right? during the post-game conference, and you know sometimes the coaches, you know, well, all the time they should be diplomatic, right? But sometimes, you know, coaches are human, and they just lost the basketball game, and the media is poking and prodding and asking all kind of silly questions to where he couldn't take it anymore. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So one person in the media asked him a question, and he responded. Doc Rivers, coach of the Boston Celtics. He said, you know what? You guys in the media, you all kill me. When we win the basketball game, it's because we are great seasoned veterans. That's the headline. Boston Celtics wins, seasoned veterans. But when the Boston Celtics loses, this is what Doc Rivers said. It say, we too old and too washed up, Mike. That when you change the way you look at things, you look at change. Somebody once said, things are going to happen to you, things will happen around you, but what matters most is what, y'all? What happens in you is what matters most. Things will happen to you, things will happen around you. What matters most is what happens in you. We talk about thinking differently. Thinking like your own creator of excellent opportunities or CEO of your dreams, no matter how old you are, no matter how young you are. Another example, I'm not here to talk about racial disparities, racial issues, social justice, social injustice, none of that. But I'd be remiss if I didn't reference the late Dr. Martin Luther King. And let's give him a round of applause. We want to clap, we can clap for him, let's clap. And a lot of, and right here, you all got to catch this one. If you all don't catch this one, all right, I don't know what to tell you. But this is a most important tidbit that you all should catch if you all don't catch nothing else. See, most of us had it mixed up, right? So we thought that Dr. King fought to give everybody equal access to be in the front of the line. Who cares about being in the front of the line? Nobody cares about being in the front of the line. Dr. King, I'm sorry, didn't fight the fight to give everyone equal access and opportunity as the 14th Amendment now says. That was not the fight. Nowhere in that 14th Amendment will you see it say, you have the opportunity to sit on front of the bus. Who cares about sitting on the front of the bus? The fight was fought to give everybody equal opportunity to own the bus station. All right. To own the bus station. Who cares about sitting on the front of the bus? The fight was fought to give equal opportunity access, no matter what your race, color, or gender age is, to give equal opportunity to be able to own the Marriott. If you work hard enough. We talk about think. You have to change the way you look at things. You all have glasses of water. Pick up your glasses. Pick up your glasses of water. Pick them up. Now turn them over. I'm just playing. He said, come here for a minute. Yeah. So we all, you can put your glasses down after you've turned them over on somebody. You know? So we've all heard of the saying, look at the glass half empty, half full. It's that fundamental and rudimentary. You have to always put a positive headline, a positive spin on any negative that arises. Somebody say think. Think. Think, think, think. So you have to alter your mindset. You have to think positive. So let's think. Let's think. Now let's move on to, so how do we grow like a CEO? So let's do some actual action steps. So second thing you must do, the first thing you must do is you must think positive. It's that simple. You have to think positive. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. If you all are not familiar with Dr. Wayne Dyer, write it down, look him up, Google him. My girlfriend, she asked me, she said, why are you always reading stuff from this guy? Why are you always looking at his YouTube videos and stuff? Again, we go to church every Sunday, don't we? Why? We always need that positive reinforcement regularly. Because there's a lot of other nonsense that goes on outside of us to where we have to juice ourselves up. So first thing you have to do is think differently. The second thing you have to do is you have to have confidence in yourself. You have to have confidence in yourself. Number 2. My area of research is intrinsic motivation. That's simply self-motivation. So I study, I read articles, read journals, read books. I might write a book on intrinsic motivation, on self-motivation, self-development. Why? Because it's so important. One of the things that I can't stand, one of the things that pisses Dr. Moss off the most is when somebody lets somebody else control their life, control their dreams. It should come to a point where you get tired of being the renter or the renter. You should want to be the landlord at some point. It comes to a point where you should get tired of always being the borrower. It should come to a point where you want to actually be the person where you can lend money as opposed to always borrow. And it comes to a point to where you should get tired of everybody else running your own life. So that comes from you having self-confidence and self-empowerment and a high level of self-esteem. So you can get from A to what? Not B to Z. Come on now. To Z. So you can get from A to Z. But that is the fundamental trap that we have. We always think this A to B. No. You got the whole world out there that you can tackle. You have to have self-empowerment. You have to believe in yourself. Growing up, I played on sports teams, as I shared with you all, and I was somewhat popular, if I can humbly say it. But the one thing that was different from Antoine was I always had a high level of confidence and self-esteem. One of my football coaches, he would always say, and I honestly, as a football player, I didn't catch a whole lot of touchdowns. I did go on to play college football for a couple years, but I didn't catch a whole lot of touchdowns. One of the things my high school coach would say, Moss, when you're down, I played tight end, right? I played tight end. He'd say, when you're down in your three-point stance and you're looking at the defender that's over you, you always have to see yourself getting off of him, brushing him off, so you can release and go out and catch that bomb so you can make a touchdown in Warrensville Heights Stadium. I'm not lying about that. My last high school game, honestly, this is honest. Last high school game was at the stadium of Warrensville Heights. It was our breakout year, for sure. Everybody told us, we win this football game, we in the playoffs. So, of course, you they got a motivational speaker on their team. So I hype everybody up at the halftime, rah, 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 rah. And we come out there and we, with all due respect to the mayor and everybody else here, we kicked y'all butts. I said it with all due respect. So we won the football game. We won the football game. Why? Because the coach always told me, and I would share it with the team, you always have to see yourself making the play. You always have to see yourself making the play. Another cliche that we have to get rid of is that you all say, somebody tell you something, and you all's response would be, I'll see it, I'll believe it when I'll believe it when I see it. We got to flip that when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. You'll see it when you believe it. Talk about confidence. You'll see it when you believe it. Another one, money don't grow on what? Trees. Money don't grow on trees. I grew up hearing that from my family. Money grows on this tree, I tell you all right now. Money grows on this tree. Money grows on this tree. Why? Because I invest, I nourish myself. Sometimes I have to stand in the sun, sometimes I have to stand in the rain, but I'm firmly planted and becoming the CEO of my dreams. Firmly planted and become the CEO of my dreams. We have to kick those bad habits, those cliches. We have to empower ourselves intrinsically. Next thing you have to do, Mayor said at the table, you have to elevate your game. You have to elevate your game. That's the third thing you have to do to be CEO of your dream. You have to elevate your game. One of my great mentors, he's here local, George Frazier. Some of you all probably know him. I'm gonna put a plug in for him really quick. Power Networking Conference. He has something on, right? I spoke at the Power Networking Conference that he holds. I spoke last year in Atlanta. This year will be in Dallas. Bishop T.D. Jakes will be one of the speakers. Tom Joyner, one of the speakers. A whole platform of illustrious speakers, and last year I was one of them. So I encourage you to go to this website, check out FrazierNet and the conference that's coming up. Talk a lot about self-empowerment and motivation. But George Frazier taught me, as my mentor, no longer is it good to be good enough. It's no longer is it good enough to be good. You have to be great. You have to be exceptional. You have to elevate your game. I always tell people, you don't have to know everything, but pick one thing and know everything about it. You don't have to know everything, just pick one thing and know everything about it. Another thing I tell people, you don't always have to be 8 feet tall like the mayor to be on the top. You don't always have to be 8 feet tall. But get this, you don't have to be on the top. But you always have to step your game up so you can be in the mix. You always have to step your game up so you can be in the game. I never was a star player. Basketball, football, even played a little baseball. I never was a star player, but guess what? I was always in the game. The last minute left in the fourth quarter, I was always in the game. You don't always have to be on the top, but you have to be in the mix. You have to elevate your game to where you can be in the mix. The fourth thing, and I'm closing, and I think we'll have 5 to 10 minutes for Q&A. The fourth thing that you have to do, you have to always develop, empower, instill, and sacrifice for the next generation behind you. You always have to. I studied Generation Y in leadership for my doctoral research. I studied Generation Y in leadership. Generation Y, for you all don't know, is just a fancy term for those knucklehead young people, which I'm part of Generation Y. Knucklehead young people. It gives me great excitement and joy to where I worked hard. It took me 10 years to get my PhD. One of the things I tell students is that you take that 10 years, sometimes maybe you only take 9, 11. Now guess what? You get your medical degree, doctor degree, law degree. You do that for 10 years. I mean, and people tell me, wow, how did you do that? I mean, God, dog, 10 years is a long time, right? If you're taking care of your business, if you're elevating your game each day, what's 365 times 10? I ain't that smart, I can't count it, but if you do that every day, 365 times 10, that's a long time. Long time. I tell them, if you sacrifice for that 10 years, however long it takes, you'll be doctor forever. They can take your voting rights away. They can take your concealed weapon rights away. They can't take this PhD though. As humbly as I know how to say it though, right? As humbly as I know how to say it. Sacrifice. Develop the next generation below you. And I'm at a point to where I've been able to develop generations that's above me. Because I've worked hard to become the CEO of my dream. Same thing with you all, I'm closing. You all have to put yourself in a position where you start to think differently. How do you know if you don't think differently? How do you know if you think like everybody else? If everybody calls you first to say, girl, guess what? Let me tell you, if everybody calls you first to gossip, you just like everybody else. The mayor says sometimes you gotta look at yourself in the mirror. We have people looking at you. Sometimes you gotta look at yourself in the mirror. Think differently. Have self-confidence, self-empowerment. Don't let Dr. Moss or anybody else, your pastor, your rep, hype you up to get to where you want to go. That's your job. That's your job. Next thing you have to do is you have to be excellent. You got to step your game up. You got to step your game up. And all my life, I've worked hard, sacrificed, step my game up. Then you got to empower the next generation behind you. Let me hear yourselves, give yourselves a round of applause. We have 2 students here who received awards today. Let the students please stand. We're talking about mentoring, developing our youth. Please stand. Kathy, come on. Give them a round of applause. They'll receive a free copy of my book. Thank you all so much. Any other questions before we take off? I'll be up here. I got some, if you all want some posters or anything, I'll sign these for you all as well. Any other questions? My book, real quick, before Steve comes up, is broken down into 2 sections. The first section talks about all of my fascinating internship experiences. Interned with the FBI. I mean, I've had world-class internship experience. FBI, Congress, NASA, I've worked with astronauts, etc. So the first half of the book goes through all my experiences, talk about how I almost went to jail, talks about how I solved the case that was open for 10 years, from 1996 to 2006, and I came as a summer intern. By the end of the summer, the case was closed. Step your game up. I practice what I preach. Second half of the book is your more career-oriented, traditional book, type of book to where it teaches you how to write a resume, cover letter, teaches you how to respond to certain interview questions, things like that. Thank you all. One more round of applause for yourselves.